Hey guys, it's Michael Kummer here. In today's video I want to tell you all about my 4 favorite keto meal replacement shakes. Now there are 4 products that I really like, but 2 that I really like. So I'm gonna mention those, my 2 favorites, at the end. I'm gonna start with 2 other ones. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel and you click on the little alert button so you get notified when I publish more videos like this. I also want to mention that I have an in-depth blog post with not only those 4 products, but a whole list of other products, including keto meal shakes, keto meal replacement shakes, and what the difference is between these two, all in my blog post. I'm going to link it down below in the description, so check that out. It's got much more information and many more products than what I could cover in this video today. Now, one thing that's important is, how do you shop for keto meal replacement shakes? What do you need to look out for to pick a product that works best for your ketogenic or low carb lifestyle? And number one is obviously the amount of calories the product has, because if it doesn't have enough calories, then it cannot replace the full meal, right? And so many of the products that I mentioned in my blog post, and actually also one of them that I'm gonna mention today in this video, doesn't really have a whole lot of calories. So you have to add either some oil or double up the serving size to get to the calories that what you need. And I recommend looking for products that have somewhere between 400 and 600 calories per serving, because if anything less, you're not gonna be satiated, you're gonna be hungry quickly again, and you wanna avoid that. Number 2, the quality of ingredients, of course. That's really the number one thing that I look out for, to make sure that there are no ingredients in that product that are irritating to my gut, that are harmful, that are artificially sourced, etc., etc. So quality of ingredients, very important. Next thing is the macronutrients. So obviously a keto meal replacement shake needs to be low in carbs, otherwise it wouldn't be keto friendly, right? So I would look for products that contain less than 8 net grams of carbohydrates. And net grams are different from the total carbohydrates. That's important to understand, because there are some products that have fibers that don't raise your blood glucose and don't cause a spike in insulin, and so you can ignore them. And there are a couple of non-caloric carbohydrates like dietary fibers, like sugar alcohols, that don't raise your blood glucose, and so you can subtract them from the total carbs to get to your net carbs. So that's the number that you want to look out for. The next one is fat and protein. Obviously a keto meal shake has to be high in fat. You should get somewhere between 50 to 75% of the total calories from fat. And protein is also important. Now, there are actually some keto meal shakes, like one of my favorite ones, that has a very balanced 1-to-1 ratio of protein and fat. And we'll talk about the reason behind that and why that's beneficial, especially if you're using that meal shake after a workout, later in this video. So let's start with my top 4 products in reverse order. So we're gonna start at the ones that I like, but that are not my favorites, and then we're gonna talk about my favorite product. So number 1 is Ambronite. It's a Scandinavian company, and they make traditionally plant-based meal replacement drinks. And during the last couple of years, they also launched a keto meal replacement shake. And it's a good product. It has a lot of whole food ingredients. The ingredient quality is top-notch. The only thing that I'm not such a fan of is that most, if not all, of the ingredients are from plant-based sources. And plants have certain issues like anti-nutrients. Many people get GI issues after consuming plants, especially leafy greens and some of those quote-unquote superfoods that in reality are not that super for you. And I have a dedicated video about that, why I stopped eating most plants. So check that out. I'm going to link it down below in the description and up here in a card. The second one that falls into the same category is Super Body Fuel's Keto Fuel. It's also a great product from an ingredient quality perspective. It meets all the right macros, it has no sugar, etc. So very good from that perspective, but also it's purely plant-based, or predominantly plant-based. And so plant-based proteins, plant-based carbs, etc. Not a bad product. Definitely a good choice if you follow a plant-based diet, but I'm more on an animal-based diet, and so I prefer getting my fats and my proteins from animal-based sources. They're more bioavailable, less gut irritating, less anti-nutrients, etc. But that's a personal preference that I have, and based on my dietary lifestyle. So these are the 2 that are good products. The one thing that I should mention with the Super Body Fuel is that it doesn't have enough calories to replace a full meal unless you add, and that's actually what Super Body Fuel recommends, 2 tablespoons of your favorite oil, be it an avocado oil, coconut oil, something like that, to increase the total amount of calories the product has. You also have to put the product, to make it taste its best, into the fridge overnight, so there is a little bit of an inconvenience factor. But if you're willing to jump through those hoops, it's a great tasting product. I've tried it in the past and it tastes good. You know, there is no question about it. And that applies to Ambronite as well. And now let's get to two of the products that I really like, that I've been using for quite some time, and that are again made of high quality ingredients that check off all the marks. And number one that I want to introduce you to is Ample. That's one of my two favorite meal replacement drinks. This bottle looks a little bit different. If you're familiar with Ample from the past, they changed branding a little bit. They consolidated their product line, but this is the Ample Complete Meal Shake. This is the 600 calorie version, so that's the big bottle. They also have a smaller one, 400 calories, and they also have a bulk canister if you want to use it at home. Then, you know, you get the bulk canister to reduce plastic waste. The reason why I like this bottle is, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of plastic per se, but the advantage, the clear advantage of Ample in a bottle is that you can easily take it through airport security. You can easily put it in your backpack or in your purse or what have you, and always have a meal ready to go. All you have to do is add water, shake it, or milk if you want to, shake it, and you have a complete meal ready in less than 30 seconds. Super convenient. From an ingredient perspective, super clean ingredients, many of them organic. It has a very good macronutrient ratio. So in this one, in the 600 calorie version, you get 45 grams of fat, you get 15 grams of total carbohydrates. But if you subtract the fiber, you end up with 5 net grams of carbohydrates. So very low for the 600 calorie serving, and you get 34 grams of protein. So also a good amount of protein in this shake. It is available in chocolate flavor as vanilla, and there is also a berry version that's plant-based. So again, if you follow a plant-based diet, not necessarily my personal recommendation, then you can get Ample in a plant-based / vegan version that doesn't have any animal-based ingredients. So this is my number one, probably my number one product here. It's super tasty, very convenient, very easy to make, easy to get through airport security or to bring it along with you on a trip. Super tasty, clean ingredients, and overall one of my favorite products, period. The next one I want to introduce you to is called Health Code. That's this guy, or at least that's one of the two flavors the product is available in. This is the chocolate macadamia. I love chocolate, that's definitely my favorite flavor, but there is also a vanilla version available. That's this guy here, so red and blue. Now what's cool about Health Code, and it's pronounced health, I didn't know that until a couple of months ago when someone told me it's actually pronounced health, which now, if you look at it, makes sense. This complete meal shake was formulated by a metabolic scientist, Dr. Ben Bikman. He's a great guy. He has a wealth of knowledge in terms of metabolic health and everything that goes with it, nutrition, etc. So definitely a product that was formulated by someone who knows what they are talking about. And what I really like about Health Code is that it has a very balanced 1-to-1 ratio of fat and protein. And while some people think, well, on keto you're supposed to eat only moderate amounts of protein, that's actually not true. Eating too much protein doesn't kick you out of ketosis. The process during which the body makes glucose from non-carbohydrate sources, like protein, is called gluconeogenesis, and that's very much a demand and not a supply-driven process. So eating more protein doesn't make more glucose in your bloodstream, and it doesn't kick you out of ketosis. That's a myth. But the reason why Dr. Bikman decided to add equal amounts of fat and protein into his meal shake is because it helps with muscle protein synthesis, especially after intense workouts. So if you work out intensively, like I do CrossFit, and you need a meal shake after that workout, it's actually counterproductive to fuel up with carbohydrates. Instead, it's much better to fuel up with equal amounts of fat and protein for ideal muscle growth and muscle recovery. And so I really like that concept. I really like everything else in that product. So it has a lot of micronutrients, vitamins, minerals. It has a lot of good fats and proteins also. The protein blend in there is whey protein, grass-fed collagen, and egg whites. You know, you don't find egg whites typically very much in meal replacement drinks. And as far as the fat is concerned, we have coconut oil, olive oil, MCT oil, flaxseed powder, cocoa butter fat, and grass-fed ghee. So that's also something that you don't usually find in meal replacement shakes. And so this is again one of my favorite together with Ample. This particular one has 400 calories per serving, but because it's a bulk pouch, you can just add as much as you want to get as many calories as you want to. Obviously, this is a great choice for at-home use. For traveling, it's slightly less convenient than the Ample, which comes already pre-bottled. We just have to add the liquid and shake it. But this one has 4 grams of net carbs, 9 grams of fiber, and 27 grams of protein, as well as 27 grams of fat. So again, available in 2 flavors. Chocolate macadamia and creamy vanilla, I think is the other one called. I'm definitely a chocolate guy, I prefer this. But both products, both flavors obviously are great. And yeah, that wraps it up. Those are my 4 recommended products. 2 of them highly recommended, especially Ample and Health Code. Best meal replacement, keto meal replacement shakes out there. Best meal replacement shakes out there, period, regardless of if you're on a ketogenic diet or otherwise. So even if you're on a regular diet, those products are great to replace a full meal. They're easy, they're convenient, they're loaded with healthy ingredients, and they keep you satiated. So if you drink a bottle of Ample or a bottle of the Health Code, you're gonna be full for several hours and know that your body has gotten the nutrition it needs to remain healthy, to stay healthy, and to thrive. So check them out. I'm gonna have discount codes for all of the products down below in the description. And also check out my blog post that I've mentioned initially. Has much more details on every product, all the pros and cons, all the ingredients, the pros and cons of the ingredients, etc. So very detailed analysis. Check it out. I'm going to link it down below in the description. And with that, we're going to wrap it up. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, let me know in the comments what I could have done better. Until next time.